Whenever I write a novel, I've realized over the years I can write it anywhere. I wrote The Notebook in the living room. I had young kids, and so I just laid the computer on the floor and laid on my stomach and wrote while the kids are bebopping around. I've written in hotels, on airplanes, on the beach, on the back porch. As a general rule, however, I write in the office in my home just because it's convenient and I'm used to it, and that's where I generally do most of my work. I'm not one of those people who have to be in a certain place to write. It's as soon as you hop into a story, the rest of the world vanishes.
Now, pay attention, because I'm about to tell you the secret to life. Ready? The whole damn thing is about choices.
The choice came from three ideas. First, I wanted to write a novel that was a little bit of a throwback to The Notebook. I wanted to write a story about what happens after the honeymoon, so to speak. Okay, we see this wonderful couple fall in love. What next? Right? A lot of my films stop right after they fall in love. And you say, well, what happened next? Right? So the choice is like The Notebook in that you see what happens later. But I wanted it to be different than The Notebook. So instead of a lifetime later, it's just about 10 years. So that was part one. Then part 2 and 3, I really wanted characters that felt different than The Notebook. So I drew the character of Travis. He was inspired by my brother, who was a great bachelor for about 10 years. And I wondered what kind of person it would take for him to settle down. And then I drew the character Gabby from an assistant of mine. And she was someone who had her whole life planned out perfectly. And of course, nothing has turned out exactly the way she imagined it would. So I said, okay, let's put these two into that kind of story. And in the end, the choice came about.
And did your brother and the assistant ever meet?
They've met. Yeah, he ended up marrying someone else.
Okay.
And that's okay, but he's been married a long time now.
1, 2, 3.
Well, Travis is a good old boy. He's from the South. He's very comfortable in his life with friends and his dog and boating on the weekends and backyard barbecues. And he isn't someone who's necessarily looking for a serious relationship. He dates people drift in and out of his life, but he's very content with himself and his friends and the world in which he's created. Well, next door moves a young lady, and it's Gabby. She's a medical school student, and she's got a boyfriend. She knows she's going to marry this guy, and she's got her life planned out. And yet there's an amazing chemistry between Gabby and Travis when they meet. And sure enough, this sparks something between them.
What are you doing?
Walking towards you real slow.
Why?
Because if I ran, I'd scare you.
I did do that.
Because you bother me.
I originally got to North Carolina a long time ago, 25 years ago. I was working for a company selling pharmaceuticals. So a job transfer took me there. And then a few years later, when I sold The Notebook, which was my first novel, I realized I could live anywhere because I can write anywhere. And I sat back and said, well, where do I want to live? And I realized that I really liked Eastern North Carolina, and I just decided to stay there and make it my home.
Like I was saying, every path you take leads to another choice. Come back to me, baby. Come bother me.
We will never see me in one of my films. I have no desire to be on camera, in front of a camera, acting. Number one, I can't act. I don't think I would be able to. Number two, I prefer my anonymity. And although my face is kind of well known, for the most part, I'm able to move through this world without anybody knowing who I am. And I like that.